IVM.
Going for parties is just so frustrating these days. I mean, your mom will make it a point to come and tell you how her friend's son has secured a house for her, and your wife will also find out that her sister's husband is taking her on a foreign holiday. While you're wondering why you're the only one who doesn't have a plan for the damn future. That's why I never sleep well during the festive time. Unless... www.hdfclife.com. Select. Done. You know what? I think I'll sleep rather well after all. Live calm. With HDFC Life, click to protect life. The Income Plus option offers life cover and steady income stream, so you're always ready for any expenses that life throws at you. Basically, this plan lets you plan your expenses like you plan your vacations. It's that simple. Visit hdfclife.com to know more and for terms and conditions.
Yes, it's the month of February, and like I've told you, this month, all the episodes are going to be about love and relationships. But when we talk about love and relationships, we tend to only focus on those who are single, those who are just starting off, those who are maybe choosing to commit and go to the next level. However, today's episode is slightly different. I'm talking to people who have been in long relationships, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Yes, maybe you have children together, maybe you don't. Maybe you're married, maybe you aren't. I don't know. But I'm talking to people who have been dating or been in a relationship, been committed to each other, and have built a life together. Hi, I'm Chetna. I'm your favorite positive action coach, and this is Say No to Drama. Today's episode, I'm talking about growing up. One of the things when you are in a relationship for a long time that we tend to take for granted, and let me tell you this, everyone does this, is that we fail to realize that we are individually growing up just as the years are passing in our relationship as well. So if you met your partner when you were 18 or 22 or 25 or even 27, and you are today 35, 38, 42, 48, 50, 55, whatever, you need to know that if you have been together for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you also have lived those 5, 10, 20 years as an individual. You have grown up, and so has your person who you have spent a lifetime with. You both have changed, you both have evolved, you both have had your own unique experiences. You both have your own interpretation of your common experiences. Things have happened individually and things have happened together. And yet, we fail to realize that we will reach a point in our journey where we will look at each other and not be able to recognize our partner. I mean, there are times, and I say this as a life coach because I get this from clients so many times, who fail to recognize their own selves. They constantly look at themselves and say, but I was never like this. Now, if that can happen to you as an individual, do you not think that it's also happening to your partner? A relationship, a long-term relationship, is constant work. Whether you've been with each other for 2 years, 5 years, or 20 years, you will have to constantly work on your relationship. And just because you both have grown up does not mean that you will grow apart or you will grow closer. That is completely subjective. But whichever it may be, you will have to make the effort to constantly discover your partner. There are so many times that people have lived full lives where they met in their 20s, dated for a while, were in a relationship, set up their career, they got married. Then their career grew. They moved from one house to a bigger house, bought 2 cars, traveled the world, and they had kids. Then that child grew up. And that child is now ready to go to college. And suddenly the two people, the parents, the two people who were in that relationship right from the beginning are looking at each other and saying, who are you? Now, here's the thing. They're saying who are you to themselves as well as to their partner. You have to realize that you will reach certain milestones in a relationship where you will not recognize yourself or your partner. And you will have to go on a journey of discovering yourself and each other from there. This is normal. This happens. You may not have seen this happen with your parents because they refused to acknowledge it. They chose to grow apart emotionally and yet live under the same roof instead of working on things and discovering each other and growing closer under that same roof. They came from a thought or a sense of conditioning that said a relationship was filled with a bunch of duties and you fulfilled those duties and you lived your life in a linear manner according to that. Our generation is slightly different. We want romance, we want adventure, we want love, we want exciting experiences, we want growth, we want to evolve, and we want all the linear kind of life that our parents have lived, but ours comes with a lot of frills attached to it. And in those frills, we fail to recognize the same thing that happened to our parents. We reach that point where we are two completely different people living with each other. And we may have completely different desires. We may have completely different dreams. Now, does this mean that you should part ways? No. This just means that you need to go on another adventure to discover each other all over again. It's your second or third innings. It's a chance to fall in love with each other again. And yes, if you've listened to the previous episode, I was talking about falling in love again if you were single. Well, this time I'm talking about falling in love again if you are in a committed relationship, falling in love with your partner all over again. Understand this. Logistically speaking, there is a chance that your partner used to love coffee and they have soon grown to love only green tea. And it's not something that you should be surprised by or get irritated by or feel like, oh, I don't know this person anymore. It's green tea. Make the green tea for your partner and sip it happily. Such a small thing. Maybe you realize that your partner has become a morning person. You may have married somebody who was an owl and only wanted to do everything in the night, but suddenly now you see this person getting up at 6 o'clock and wanting to go for a jog. Oh my, so happy in the morning. And you built your whole life around the owl. And nobody's asking you to now change your routine. But instead of being surprised about your partner going for a jog and ridiculing them or cracking jokes to make them feel bad, how about getting up whatever time you do and making a kick-ass breakfast so that you all can enjoy that together? How about figuring out how to have a routine that's slightly more independent and allowing your partner to have a routine that's slightly more independent? I'll give you another more intense or sometimes a kind of toxic behavior also that comes up. When you are in your 20s, one partner may have acted like they needed to be taken care of all the time. Now, this partner has grown up and in their 30s, late 30s or early 40s, they have become independent and have done a lot of work on themselves and now no longer want to be taken care of. Now, this may leave you, who was doing all the taking care of, may make you feel like a fish out of water. Right? It may leave you feeling like you're on the sidelines and you suddenly don't have any use or that you are not useful, rather, in your partner's life. But that is not true. That is not true. It just means that you can now move behind and treat your partner as an equal. Treat them as an equal and let them take care of you a little bit more than what you would have otherwise allowed. Can you enjoy this new version of your partner? Can you get to know this new version? Can you change your behavior and reactions? And instead of impulsively reacting like you always would, can you respond more appropriately, aligned to what they are saying or doing, rather than coming from a space of habit? Give this a little thought if you are somebody who has been in a relationship for a long time. You have to grow, you have to evolve. And you will grow and evolve whether you like it or not. And so in your relationship, there will come times, many times, not just once, where you will have to rediscover your partner and change your behaviors towards them. It is important to sit and have conversations with each other, asking your partner, do you still like this? You know, this used to be your favorite, but I'm not sure if it still is it? Is blue still your favorite color? Do you still like ice cream? I know at one point you used to love waking up in the morning. But do you still enjoy that? Would you rather sleep in a lot more now? You used to like rom-coms at one point, and I see you reading a lot of thrillers right now. Has your taste changed? These are small things. These are very tiny things. But when you start getting to know your partner around these tiny things, when you start noticing these changes and differences and you start accepting them and celebrating them and indulging in them, then you will end up growing together instead of growing apart because you grew up separately. There are many more episodes on relationships coming up. We're just halfway through the month. So stay tuned. And if you want to listen to the previous episodes that I have recorded, and there are a whole bunch on love and relationship, you need to head on to the IVM Podcast app and website and scroll down the list. Also, you can connect with us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle is IVM Podcast if you can't find an episode and you'd like some help with it. In case you want to connect with me to help you through your relationship and to help you find yourself and find the connect with your partner again, you can DM me to book a session. My handle is Positivity Angel.
Hi, I'm Rohan Joshi, and on my podcast, the show about crypto, I've been having some pretty cool conversations with industry experts about what exactly cryptocurrency is and what makes it so exciting. If you haven't already, please check it out on the IVM Podcasts Network. Now, a quick shout out to my fellow crypto heads. We've got a listener survey going on, which will take not more than 10 minutes of your time to fill out. So please check the link in the description and help me out by filling it up. Don't forget to tune into a show about crypto on the IVM app and wherever you get your podcasts from.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. We're so excited to bring you our next podcast by our favorite Tamil storyteller, Kavita Jiva. Venvalseni is the story of how the Tamil kings and kingdoms united to keep South India independent of Ashoka's rule. On The Habit Coach, Ashton speaks to psychiatrist and podcaster Dr. Fred Moss. They discuss ways to deal with discomfort and boredom. On Think Fast, Varun and Suchita give us key highlights from the 2022 budget and discuss the success of audioware company Boat. On The Longest Constitution, Priya takes a look at how courts interpret cases of color blindness and maternity relief at the workplace. On Press Decode, Sarah Vagda and Prafula talk about China's media censorship and Bharat Pay's infamous co-founder Ashnir Grover. And on Pulyabazi, the hosts discuss how much the government spends on defense in their special series Ek Sawal Kahi Jawab. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our others for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any other platforms that you're listening to us, whether it's a rating, whether it's a review, it all helps. And do remember to check us out on YouTube. We have a number of channels. They're available on ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, I would like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and HDFC Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.